Welcome back to the channel, survivors. Today we're going to be diving into another Ark Survival Ascended video, and I've got a special one for you guys. We're going to be taking a look at, in my opinion, one of the most underrated dinosaurs that is available for Ark Survival Ascended. And not just Ark Survival Ascended, even Ark Survival Evolved. I believe this dino is very underrated and underappreciated by a lot of players, and it seems to be left out on tons of the top dinosaur list that I see out there. I'm not exactly sure why, as this dinosaur, in my opinion, is definitely a top 5 contender. And now, before we officially dive in, if you guys are enjoying the content here and you want more of my content and you want to directly support me, please be sure to hit that subscribe button directly below this video. Also, don't forget that I do also have a Discord community if you're looking to join that, or if you want to check out all of my other social media links. All of that does directly help me and support me, and you can find all of those down below in the description. So now let's officially meet the Baryonyx. As you guys already probably know what the Baryonyx is or have heard of the Baryonyx, this dino, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated here for Ark Survival Ascended and Ark Survival Evolved. Now, when it comes to the Baryonyx, a couple of things I'm going to mention, and we're going to just break down everything that you guys need to know and what makes this dino very, very strong and good. So first up, it is a very unique dino as it does thrive in both land and underwater. The Baryonyx is a beautiful mount to ride to traverse the Ark, okay, especially for the island map, because there's not really anything stopping you. You can run on land and it can outrun a lot of things, and then the same thing goes for in the water. It even swims faster than it currently runs on land, so you don't really ever get stuck when it comes to trying to escape something or even escape an individual player. Both terrains, the dino works really, really well. And now, speaking of swimming, guess what another thing is really cool about the Baryonyx? If you actually go deep under the water here, you can notice one thing in the top right hand side. There is no oxygen bar. Yeah, that's right. That means the dino can literally thrive and live underwater forever. You never have to come up for air utilizing the dino. Now, obviously, you have to remember your own oxygen, so unless if you have a scuba gear set on, you obviously have to still come up for air periodically to regenerate your own oxygen. Otherwise, you will unfortunately drown, and nobody wants that, right? So definitely pay attention to your own oxygen, but just know that the Baryonyx doesn't have one, and he can be under the water forever. Alrighty, so now with that being said, let's dive into the different attacks that the Baryonyx can perform. The very first one and the most standard one is its normal bite. You can do this and perform this on the land and even in the water. You just simply use your attack button and then he will just continuously bite. One thing to keep note here is that there is a slight pushback mechanic very similar to the Argentavis, so you can utilize that to your advantage by attacking things and slowly backing up, keeping whatever you are attacking at a good distance away from your Baryonyx and potentially not even hitting your dino. Now let's dive into the second attack that the Baryonyx has to offer, and that brings us back into the water. The second attack is a AoE spin tail whip attack, alright? So it basically does a spin circle here, as you guys can see on screen, and it is game changing. This will essentially stun small to medium creatures in the water for an entire 10 seconds. Keep in mind that this does work on small to medium creatures in the water. This does not work on a Mosa, but it does actually work here on megalodons, your manta rays, your piranhas, dolphins, you name it. Anything in that same size ratio will get AoE stunned and take damage on top of it. Again, a really strong move that you can utilize to your advantage inside of the water. And now here's a little fun fact for you when it comes to the Baryonyx. They are a pescatarian. Yeah, that's right. The dino has a massive taste for fish and fish alone. So you want to make sure you keep a stack on this bad boy at all times when it comes to fish, because that is what it prefers to eat over anything else on the island. And it is especially important to keep in mind when you are raising and breeding your Baryonyx. If you are looking to raise your Baryonyx, unfortunately, you can't use raw meat like you do with other carnivores. They specifically desire and need raw fish, so make sure you got to stock up on raw fish before you decide to breed and raise them. Now, when it comes to the Baryonyx and eating fish, one really awesome additional thing the Baryonyx has to offer when it comes to fish are two things. One, they harvest a lot more fish than any other dino and player can harvest on the Ark. So because they have that, desire to eat raw fish, when you harvest the fish's corpse, it will return the most amount of fish utilizing a Baryonyx to harvest it. But number two here, that brings us to crazy amounts of healing for killing and eating a raw fish. So to give you guys an example here, you can see I just got out of a cave run. My health is super duper low, and we jump into this lake here, this little pond, and we swim around for a while, kill kill a bunch of fish and everything, just watch how fast that its health comes back. It gets a insane amount of healing when it kills and consumes a raw fish. Again, a really cool mechanic here that you can utilize to your advantage as long as you are close to a raw fish swimming in the water. It does not matter if it's a salmon or a regular one. You can just kill it, consume it, a piranha, you name it. If it gives you raw fish, you can eat it and get insane healing. And now, if all of that was not enough to convince you how awesome and badass the Baryonyx Dino is, let's dive into one more really strong thing that the Baryonyx has going for it. And that brings us to cave diving. When it comes to running caves in Ark Survival Ascended and Ark Survival Evolved, it is very challenging, especially until you get and unlock cryopods to get and find what dinos fit properly in the cave, and or what is one even worth bringing. Well, the Baryonyx, in my opinion, is the best choice. All right, so we're gonna run this swamp cave here. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, but the Baryonyx, riding him or not riding him, will fit through the entrance of caves. So again, if you do not have cryopods unlocked, this makes the Baryonyx even stronger for you as a tame, because you can directly use it inside of cave runs. They not only fit inside the cave run, but they do have that knockback mechanic. So again, as long as you have a straight path behind you, you can slowly walk backwards as you continue to attack everything in an AoE range. It makes it very, very good. And even on top of that, if you happen to dive into caves that even have water, you will then also be able to utilize the stun AoE tail swipe inside of there, again killing foes and stunning everything, to allowing you a lot more control to do more damage and hopefully successfully get the clear. So with all that being said, let's do a quick recap here on why the Baryonyx is the unsung hero of Ark Survival Ascended. It is a matter of land and sea. It breathes underwater, it has stun attacks, it is a fish connoisseur, it heals quickly from its favorite snack, and it is the perfect size for cave explorations. And there you have it, folks, the official Baryonyx coming in on the most underrated dino here for Ark Survival Ascended and Ark Survival Evolved. In my opinion, I think a lot of players sleep on the Baryonyx. They look past it, they just simply kill them in the swamp, you name it, but I definitely think it can benefit players a lot more than they actually think. And with that being said, you guys know I put my heart and soul into these videos, so it would mean the world to me if you can like, comment, and subscribe here on this video directly. Not only that, as I mentioned at the beginning, if you guys want to check out all of my other social media platforms, support me over on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, you name it, you can find all those links down below in the description. With that being said though, guys, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all on the next one.